Hi, my name is Nick, and welcome to the Painter's Mess. So, surprisingly, it's been a whole month since I put out the first installment of the Thematic List Building with my Death Guard, and now I'm on to the Blood Angels, and I'm really surprised that it actually took me this long to do it, because I've been working on the PowerPoint and working on the list building, but, you know, holidays get in the way and all of that all in life. Just life is difficult. But I finally got my Blood Angel stuff done, so we're going to go over thematic list building for the Blood Angels today. So let's go to the slides and we can talk about some thematic lists that I built for Blood Angels, and hopefully you guys learn something and enjoy it. So let's go make a mess. So we're on to the 9th Legion, the Blood Angels, run by the Primarch Sanguinius in all of his majestic glory. Angelic glory is probably more like it. But the whole point of this list and the Blood Angels themselves are, they are a melee focused army, and they also have this kind of disease built into their gene seed that makes them crave blood. So they're pretty much space vampires led by a space vampire angel, which is, you know, kind of nuts, but hey, we're going with it. So, first things first, again, this is a historical war game. The following lists are not intended to be representations of what people would call meta lists. Though they do have the potential to win games, they are provided for fun, interactive, narrative games. You have a chance to win. Everybody has a chance to win. It all depends on the dice rolls. I can't guarantee you're going to win with these lists, but at least you're going to have fun with them. So, again, we're going to start with our quick little agenda. We're going to do some housekeeping, and then we're going to go into the lists. And our lists are the Red Thirst, the Illustrious Assault, and the Crimson Spear. So we're going to talk about the Legion trait first, the Encremine Fury. Pretty much, as long as they charge, if they get the successful charge, they get +1 strength to their attack, which is actually pretty convenient, because usually +1 strength is +1 to wound. Last edition it was just +1 to wound. Now it is +1 strength, which usually equates the same. Their advanced reaction is Wrath of the Angels. Too long didn't read. It's in the shooting phase. The opponent gets to fully shoot. The target unit, so whatever unit you choose, moves closer to the shooting unit, and if they're within 6 inches, that shooting unit takes a cool check or they get pinned. Basically, it's we're gonna take the shots, but we're gonna scare the crap out of you. So. And then you're not going to move. Next is the Prime Advantage, which is actually a pretty solid advantage, I would say. It's called the Revenants. That whatever unit you give it to, it just causes Fear 1. So that's actually very convenient, especially when you start getting larger units, or you kind of combine it with other things, and you're already getting +1 on the charge, +1 strength on the charge. So you're probably going to win combat for the most part, depending on who's fighting who, but it can be pretty helpful. And you can give that to any prime unit, and you can also give it to your characters as they join units. So, onto the Gambit. Thrall the Red Thirst. Basically, it's also very good. As you lose points in the focus roll because of your wounds, they ignore that, but they also cannot gain outside support. So that's actually pretty sweet. If you're, a 5 wound character down to 1, you can ignore the -4 to your modifier, and that's actually pretty nice when you're in a challenge. So we have onto the weapons. We have perdition weapons, which are amazing. They get a flame, so it's 15 points per weapon, but they get a flame 1. Usually it's just 1. But basically that causes another minus to their leadership check. So if they're flamed, and I believe those have to wound, but if that weapon wounds, it causes a -1 plus the -1 to the fear if you have it combined with the Revenants. It's actually pretty convenient. And then +1 strength on top of that if you made the charge. And then you have the Illustrious Assault Cannon variants. You have the Pintles, the Sponsons. You can put it on a Predator, which we're going to talk about, and a whole lot of other things. I believe your Angels tiers can also carry them, but I believe you could probably have a support squad as well. I didn't actually add a support squad in to any of these lists, although I think it would be a pretty cool thing to add into the Illustrious Assault list. So I'll probably have to tailor that just a little bit. So let's go through our special units and our characters. Primarch is Sanguinius. By the way, it's a really cool model. I'm actually painting another one for a buddy of mine, but this will be the second one I've painted, and he's just awesome. What's sad is that the model does not come with the the thematic base anymore. You have to get that kind of third party. Chapter Master Raldoron is your High Commander, and then they also have a Praetor and a Praetor and Terminator armor, which are specific to the Blood Angels, and those are resin models. We have Dominion Zephyr and Astra Crone. Those are also 2 characters, but those are command characters. Dominion Zephyr is the dude with the jump pack. Astra Crone is the dude with the axe and the flamer. Also, really cool models, really fun to use, and they are in this list. You have your 2 sets of elites. You have your Dawnbreakers, which are your jump pack spear guys. They're in almost every list that I build. I have 5 of them. They're great. I love them. They're such a great unit, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Crimson Paladins, also awesome, and they're so fun. They're so cool. They are of all the Terminators, only the Alpha Legion and the Crimson Paladins have Terminators that have lines. So they're actually lined 1, and they go around holding shields and swinging swords, and it's pretty sweet. Sword and board Paladins, basically. You have your Angels tier, which is your heavy assault. They have grenade launchers or the Illustrious assault cannons, and they could do Volkites and pistols, like regular bolt pistols. They're fun. They're cool. The assault cannons and the grenade launchers are pretty rad, but they are also bitter duty, so they can only be paired with a Moratat. And then you have the Contemptor and Candious Dreadnought. This Dreadnought is a Contemptor with the jump pack. That's basically what it is. It's pretty sweet. It has 2 claws, talons, and it just shreds through stuff. I have to see how it works. I haven't really used it too much in 3rd edition because Dreadnoughts kind of got nerfed, but it is in the list a couple times, or in these lists a couple times. So try it out and let me know how it goes. And then the legacy units that came out are the Phantom Court, which are bodyguards with really cool swords and shields, combat shields, and then your Sanguinary Guard, which everybody, if you play Blood Angels, know about. They're the gold guys, but they can be pretty much taken with any Peridition weapon, as well as some Paragon blades and stuff like that, depending on how many you have. They have jump packs. The best way to make this kit is to convert some Mark 6 jump packs. They're actually pretty, just color them gold, or you can buy the old Sanguinary Guard. The new Sanguinary Guard for 40k is kind of a miss, personally, but that's why we play 30k. So, the one thing that this unit, or this Legion, is very good at is jump pack assault. And unfortunately, because of the nerf to Deep Strike, it is actually very difficult to do this properly. But if you utilize the Master of Descent as much as possible for deep striking, you can do it. The only problem is you cannot charge out of your deep strike, so you have to kind of prepare accordingly to not get basically shot out of the sky as soon as you land. But with the Dawnbreakers, you can get around that. So they are very combat focused, but they do have a fair bit of firepower support. Not tank destroying firepower, well, depending on what loadouts you do, but for the Illustrious assault stuff, that is just overwhelming firepower, and it's actually a lot of fun using some ball predators and the Sikaran Punishers, which are also in this list, in one of these lists. So it is actually pretty fun. So lean into using the Illustrious assault cannons, overpower them, because like why not, and it's fun. And then getting in with the +1 strength on the charge, and then your Peridition weapons in with a flame on top of your Revenant Prime advantage. So on to the Red Thirst, and this is Dominion Zephyr. I actually don't think he's in this list, but I put him there because I thought he looked cool, because it is just a really cool model with a giant sword. Jetpack dude with missing a leg and a giant sword. It's pretty sweet. I will say that I'm ignorant on all of the lore for the Blood Angels. I've only read one book, and it was Sanguinius's book. Unfortunately, I worked through all the Death Guard stuff, and then I started doing the Blood Angel stuff, and that was the first one I've done. So I still have plenty more to read and plenty more to learn. So if I get things wrong historically, please correct me in the comments down below, or tell me which books to read first or next. Again, I've only read the one that is Sanguinius's like Primarch book. I would love to read more. I just don't know the order to read them in yet, but we're getting there. So let's go with so start with the Crusade Detachment. The first thing we're going to do, and this is, again, the theme is Red Thirst. So it is a Terminator Praetor, a Tartaros Terminator Praetor. So we want to be fast and mobile. I always go with the Paragon Blade with a combi weapon, but that is your choice. Lightning Claws here is also effective. And then Astra Crone, a Centurion, and a Master of Descent. for your command. Astrochrone was introduced in 2.0 as a character in one of the other books that, or like the free PDFs that they put out, but then he didn't have a character or a model until the end of 2.0, and actually that was earlier this year in 2025. But I do remember specifically that this character was part of like the ruler or the head of the inductee, and I wish I had looked up more background on all these characters, so I apologize for that. But I'm pretty sure I remember him being something in regards to inductee. So in this case, we have a 20-man inductee squad, a set of despoilers, a tactical squad, and 2 rhinos for your primary crusade detachment. Onto our next detachment is an armored support. We have a Sakaran, standard Sakaran with the autocannon turret and 2 las cannons on the sponsons. I believe there might be searchlights. I'd have to look at the list, but those lists are going to be provided where this PowerPoint is residing, and all of those will be linked down below. And then we're going to do an Apex, and we're going to do the combat retinue, and we're going to do a Tartaros command squad. So this gives you weapon skill 5. It sits with your other Tartaros Praetor. And I gave them all lightning claws, and then the Praetor has the Paragon Blade. Basically, you're getting a bunch of attacks. They can move, they can rush, they can charge, all of the fun stuff. And then you're just kind of the whole point is Red Thirst. Let's go kill people. Then we're gonna jump over to the other side. We have the Revelation Host. Now this is the detachment specific for the Blood Angels, and you can either do a troop slot with assaults only, and that's the first one is a prime slot. Or you can do elites, and you can only do Dawnbreakers or your veteran assault squad. I always choose Dawnbreakers because why wouldn't you use the units that are with the Legion? Because they're fun and they're pretty cool. So you have an assault squad over here and a set of Dawnbreakers. Probably, I believe it's just a 5-man. And then we have an Armored Fist detachment with the Land Raider carrier and the Spartan. Now the Spartan's there to carry the 20-man inductee plus Astrochrone. And you can move up 10. You can get out, you can move, and you can charge still because it's an assault vehicle. And that's the whole point of this 20-man inductee squad with your character. The really cool thing about that is I believe Astrochrone actually has ride grenades and a few other things. He has the flamer and the axe. I don't remember all of his stats, but they're not bad. They're pretty good. And then the inductee, their special rule is if they win combat, which you have a bunch of dudes that can win combat here, they basically cause fear around them as they kind of start devouring the unit that they just destroyed. It's a pretty sweet rule, and I definitely leaned into it. And then the last detachment is going to be a heavy support with the Contemptor and Candious Dreadnought. Again, you have a Dreadnought that can move and rush and charge and has talons to shred through its enemies. So send it forward, send it running up the board, and have some fun there. So I'm going to start going over kind of what the whole idea of each unit is and where they kind of fall into this list. So Astrochrone, spelled it wrong here, and the inductee are in the Spartan, and they go Vanguard and status hunting. So basically they just run up the board. They try to Vanguard a unit off an objective by sheer numbers, and hopefully either they either destroy the unit outright or they status the unit and fear them. Your Praetor and your Tartaros command squad are in the Land Raider carrier, and they go slay the Warlord hunting and go character hunting because they don't have Vanguard. So they're the only thing they can do is really just destroy stuff, right? Your Master of Descent and your Dawnbreakers. So this is where my Master of Descent is technically the Moritat, is the model I use. But that Moritat has dual Inferno pistols, so dual melta pistols. I 3D printed them. But basically, if you're going to send a Master of Descent down, send them with the Dawnbreakers, and then make sure that they have melta bombs. So when they land, you do your dual Inferno pistols into the back of a vehicle, use their grenade launchers to either shoot the vehicle if you can, or if you have to, divert somewhere else with those Inferno pistols. And then when you can charge the vehicle and melt a bomb whatever vehicle is left. Or you can use, I don't know, depending on the armor values of the vehicle, you could use the spears possibly. I'd have to look again. But you can have a lot of fun there. The cool thing about the Dawnbreakers is that unless the unit that is shooting them, that is intercepting them, is within 12 inches, they cannot be seen. It's one of their special rules. It's set the sky aflame. Basically, if you're out of 12 inches from that unit coming down, you can't shoot it, which is amazing. So again, that's one of the best ways to get units, especially Dawnbreakers and characters, into the backfield turn 1. And you can have a lot of fun with that, and that's why I do the Inferno pistols. You could also tailor a Moritat or another character with a jump pack with Inferno pistols and just dual pistol things, and it's actually pretty funny. So next is your Despoilers and your Centurion. Probably at this point go middle objective hunting in a Rhino. So put them forward, give your Centurion a weapon, either a Perdition weapon or just a power weapon, maybe some Lightning Claws, and send them forward in the Rhino to either the center objective or your opponent's objective. Your Tacticals are in a Rhino for protection, and they sit on your home objective. And your Dread goes vehicle or unit hunting. Just send it up the board. Have fun with it. You can either give it the Illustrious Assault hand cannons, you can give it Melt-A-Guns, or the Flamers. Pick your poison. Just send it forward. It's a lot of fun. Your Sicarans do some vehicle hunting and some unit hunting. As much as you can, status vehicles. It's hard to do with armor value 14, but you can do a lot of other things with that auto cannons and those las cannons. And then your assault squad, which actually isn't deep striking, but you can put it in deep strike if you'd like to, will just go objective hunting because they're Vanguard. Again, your mileage may vary depending on your weapon choices, but there is a link to this list, or the list how I built it, in the Google Drive that'll be linked down below. So, onto the Illustrious Assault. I did find this picture on Google, and I forgot to pull the link for it. But basically, this is a ball predator. This is the 30k version, except it has just the heavy bolter sponsons. My predators have the Illustrious Assault sponsons, which you can 3D print. But it's basically a ball predator, or you can just probably buy a ball predator. I'd have to look at it, but convert. It's a lot to buy 2 predators and then convert an old one into a ball predator, but they don't have them in 30k, but like you can build them outright and they're pretty cool. So this starts with a Crusade detachment with a Cataphractii Praetor, and that Cataphractii Praetor is going to be with a veteran, an Apex detachment of Crimson Paladins. Make sure you give one the Illustrious Assault because that's what the theme is of this list is. But basically, it's your paladins. Put them on an objective. They have line 1, and then just hold the line, right? So on to the command. This has a Centurion, a Moritat, and the Master of Descent. And we'll get into that in a little bit. 2 tactical squads and 1 assault squad. A single Rhino. And then onto the armored support detachment. You have 2 Sicaran Punishers with Illustrious Assault sponsons. Then you have your ball and a Pintle assault as well, Illustrious Assault, and then your Pintle, and then your ball predator with Pintle and sponsons as well. Already went over the Apex detachment with the Crimson Paladins. You have a First Strike detachment with a Fire Raptor. Now this doesn't technically have Illustrious Assault, but it does have the Twin Avenger bolt cannon, which is kind of similar. They kind of look similar. But I love the Fire Raptor. It's actually a lot of fun. And I actually have a Blood Angels one that I 3D printed right up there. And you know what? I'll pull it up. So I did have some issues with the bottom of it and magnetizing it and all this other stuff. But like, let's see. How awesome is a Raptor, right? My phone's I'm using my phone at the moment. It's kind of upside down, but like, how cool is a Raptor? It just is. This one is actually 3D printed, so there's a whole lot of things with this that it's slightly different from a real one. I do have a real one, so I don't want you to think that I don't have real models and I just 3D print stuff. But comparatively, this is my Death Guard one, right? And this is my Blood Angels one. They're actually pretty similar. They're pretty sweet. I love the flyers. I love the flyer rules in this game. It's not as great where they don't stay on the board, but they are fun. And I will say that the Fire Raptor does work, especially if you give it the autocannons and the missiles, the Hellstrike missiles, which in this list, this Fire Raptor does have both of those things. So on to the next attachment, we have the Armored Fist, again, just vehicles. And we're going to do a Land Raider carrier that'll hold the Terminator, the Praetor, and the Crimson Paladins. And then your Shock Assault attachment, which has your Angel's Tears. So this is going to drop Angel's Tears with some rockets and some Elastrus Assault Cannons. And they're just going to go to town. And we will go forward and talk about some of those details on the next slide. So I do want to point out, this is not a close combat based list. That's the whole point, is that it's specifically for the Elastrus Assault Cannons. And this is the Joy Toy that has an Elastrus Assault Cannon. This is the Crimson Paladin. And I actually got a Crimson Paladin Joy Toy. It is right, can't really see it, but it's like right here. For Christmas, that was actually probably one of the coolest things I got. And one of them for anybody of my friends and family who watch this. It was a pretty cool gift. But it is not a good close combat army or list. So it's a great close combat army, not a good list. Your Predators and your Sicarans are kitted out with Elastrus Assault Cannons. Your turrets, your sponsons, they have the Defensor, the whatever locus allows the turret to be a defense weapon, and they can return fire. It's stupid and ridiculous, but it's funny, and like always maximum fire, because like why wouldn't you? Your Praetor and your Crimson Paladins go slay the Warlord hunting, because your Praetor is your best character in the game or on your list, and then they go sit on an objective and try to hold the line because they're line 1. Your Master of Descent and your Assault squad come down turn 1, and then you use the Master of Descent rules for turn 2 to bring down your Moritat and your Angel's Tears. So in this case, hide them somewhere behind a piece of terrain, basically where they cannot die, where your Master of Descent will live. Use his rule, and his rule is he can come down turn 1 automatically, but on turn 2 he can call in support and they automatically come down. They don't have to, they automatically pass their roll. Very convenient. Utilize that and bring down your Moritat and your Angel's Tears, because your Moritat has Bitter Duty, your Angel's Tears also have Bitter Duty. Your Centurion and your Tactical Squad go into a Rhino and head towards the best objective possible. You're going to have 2 tactical squads. The first one's going to sit on your home objective, and your second one with the Centurion are going to go to the best next objective, wherever that's at, and just try to hold it. Again, they're not combat specific, they are shooty specific. It's just a bunch of bolters and going for that attrition of bolt shots. And then your Fire Raptor comes in, I would say probably turn 2 or 3, depending on the situation, because you're going to want your Angel's Tears to destroy whatever unit can shoot down your Fire Raptor. So if they have an autocannon squad, you want to focus fire on that, and I would use your Predators and your Sicarans to do that as well. Basically, if it has autocannons or it can take out a Raptor in a single shot, try to take it out before you bring your Raptor in, which is why you're going to bring your Raptor in on either turn 2 or turn 3. And what you're going to do is put that Raptor behind your opponent's vehicles or to the side of them, so your front arcs can't get you. Because you can, at that point, can come in on any board edge. And let me tell you, if your opponent has their vehicles lined up, and you just put your Raptor right behind them, you can destroy a bunch of vehicles right in a row with the missiles, the Hellstrike missiles, and the autocannons. And it is, with your 255 point flyer, you can probably destroy roughly around 1,000 points of vehicles, and it's actually pretty intense. And the last list we're going to talk about is the Crimson Spear. So we had the Red Thirst, which was all about running in fast and shredding things up and just straight up going for the jugular. And now we're going with the Crimson Spear, which is very similar, except this is going to be your more your drop assault, quick attack kind of list. So we're going to use Chapter Master Raldoron here as our high command. And then for our command, we're going to do Dominion Zephon and 2 Master of Descents. 2. And then we're going to use a squad of Despoilers and a tactical squad, a single Rhino. Then we're going to move on to your armored support, where you're going to have 2 Predator with Melta cannons, the Meltas, and the las cannon sponsons. We're going to do the armored fists with the Land Raider carrier, the Revelation host, which is your specific to the Blood Angels, and do an assault squad with some Dawnbreakers. And then you're going to do your Apex as a retinue squad, and you're going to do a Sanguinary Guard with jump packs, and then you're going to do an Phantom Court with no jump packs. And I believe this detachment has 3 of them, so it's the Phantom Court, Raldoron, and the Land Raider. And because we are going for quick and fun and destructive, we're going to bring a Falchion. There isn't currently a new Falchion model out there. There is the Fellblade. I would alternate that in there and just say it's a Falchion, or go searching on the purple site, because there are files. There are files for something that's really cool, like a Falchion, on the purple site. Go look for it. It's actually pretty sweet. You know what? They're files. They're files for a Falchion. And it's the new one with the cool. Go look for it. 3D printing's pretty sweet. Just go look for it. Yeah. All right. On to the notes for this list. Raldoron and the Phantom Court go into the Land Raider carrier and go head hunting for characters and slay the Warlord. Always use your high command to go slay the Warlord. It's fun. Why not? Dominion Zephon and the Combat Master of Descent go with the Sanguinary Guard, and they go first or second turn to clear objectives and hunt, slay the Warlord. Again, just go fight things. Retinues don't have Vanguard, so your Dominion Zephon and your Combat Master of Descent just go character hunting, or slay the Warlord if somehow Raldoron dies. They don't have Vanguard, so like, why waste them on an objective unless you absolutely have to clear it off or want to go kill a character. Your Shooty Master of Descent, again, dual Inferno pistols, and your Dawnbreakers go hunting, vehicle hunting first turn with Melta Bombs and Inferno pistols. Again, same concept of what I said before. Your Despoilers go into a Rhino, and they just head for your opponent or your opponent's objective or the center objective. Again, just go fight stuff. You probably have Revenants on them, and they probably have a Perdition weapon. So again, you're probably looking at least Fear 2, hopefully. Your Assault Squad goes objective hunting with Vanguard, with the help of whatever deep striking unit is around. So if you put your Sanguinary Guard nearby, they have a flame on their weapons. Send your Assault Squad that way. They probably have Revenants as well, and try to clear off an objective. Maybe pincer them in so they can't react on you, and just go from there. Your Predators and your Falchion go tank hunting. You have the dual Meltas with the las cannon and the Falchion, which has the laser destroyer cannon thing. Basically, it's going to wreck vehicles, so go wreck vehicles. That's kind of the whole point. And then your Tactical Squad sits on your home objective. Again, mileage may vary with your weapon choices. So those are the 3 lists, and as kind of how I tailored them, and they will be they will be linked in the Google Drive will be linked in the description below. So go check them out. If you try any of them, let me know. I thought they were pretty cool, because I'm going to try them, and these are based off of, again, units that I have, or at least kind of what I've thought of units that I want to pick up for the Blood Angels. And speaking of which, let's go with the units to pick up, and I actually put these ones in order. As far as like, if I was going to start fresh, these are the ones I would buy in this order to go make a really cool list. So let's start with the Blood Angels Praetor and Terminator armor. It's just a cool Praetor. It's a thematic one, or it's the specialized one. You might as well pick it up. Again, Dominion. So I would pick either Dominion Zephon or Astrochrone and stick with that theme initially. Go from there. Crimson Paladins, again, a 5-man squad of Crimson Paladins are super sweet. Dawnbreakers, again, 5-man of Dawnbreakers are pretty sweet. They're in almost every list that I make between those 2. So I'd guaranteed those 4 slots to pick up right away. 50 to 60 Marines. As of right now, it's 10 Despoilers, 20 Tactical Squad, 20 Tactical Marines, and 20 Inducti Marines. So basically, make your Inducti an Assault Squad without the jump packs. And we actually have Assault Squads later down in the list. And the only reason why they're lower in the list is because of the drop. Not drop pod support, the deep strike. It kind of sucks with that, so you might as well wait. But again, if you were going to buy a big list, a big army of these, this is kind of where I would start. Minimum 2 rhinos, a land raider, and then I would start working on your ball predators, and then pick up your assault squad. You know, actually, let's move the assault squad just up a little bit. Probably the assault squad before the rhinos. I would rather have bodies before you have the tanks, because you can always just send a bunch of bodies at people. And then Sakarans, and then maybe 3D print the Punisher turret, and then kind of enjoy that swap between the two. And then I would start doing the special characters. So the Legion Champion, it's actually a really cool model. I kit bashed mine. I think I have a video on the page. I gave him a jump hack. He has a cool sword, a Perdition sword. It's a pretty sweet model. The Blood Angel's Praetor is not bad. I'd actually probably rank that lower than the Contemptor and Candious Dreadnought. Just because I don't really care for the model that much. It's kind of tiny, but he has a cool, you know, dual-handed sword. But the Contemptor and Candious Dreadnought is sweet. Just pick that model up. If you're going to get a Dreadnought, pick that one up. And then onto the other side, the other choice, if you picked up Dominion Zephon, get Astrochrone. If you got Astrochrone initially, pick up Dominion Zephon. And then I would start picking up Chapter Master Raldoron, because you've already used a Praetor for a good minute. He's the next step. I don't use characters as often, or at least high command characters like Typhon from my Death Guard. I don't think I've used Chapter Master Raldoron like once. But like, I would pick him up. I do have him. I would pick up another assault squad to convert, specifically 5 Sanguinary Guard and 5 Phantom Court, and just, there's videos on YouTube, check them out. And then I would start looking at some of the other things like Cataphractii Terminator Squad, Tartaros Terminators, and now there's the new Cataphractii that are coming out. You might be able to kit bash with a few things. There's some files out there that are actually pretty sweet to make them more Blood Angel-like. Great Tide Studios is probably a good one to look at, as well as there's another gentleman. Look up Dragoon. It's called Dragoon something, but it's basically a conversion kit for the new 40k Terminators to be Cataphractii Terminators, but there's also a Blood Angels themed one. And I believe that I reached out to the creator of those files and asked about a Tartaros conversion kit, and he's working on that as well. It's pretty sweet. You know what? I've already gotten up a few times. Let's do it one more. Now this is primed black because that's how I start mine. But basically, this is one of the new 40k Terminators, but it has this conversion kit that I 3D printed. So shields, the leg pieces are more Cataphractii-like. It's a Cataphractii front plate, and then a sword of Perdition kind of looking thing, cool shield. And this is actually the Deathwing Terminator squad. The Dark Angels one is just converted, and I have a couple of these, or I have a kit that I converted because Crimson Paladins have robes. These guys have robes. That's how I converted them. But I do have the giant Terminator box on my shelf that I'm going to convert to make some pretty cool new scale Terminators. Hopefully the Tartaros Terminator kit conversion kit comes out and I can 3D print those as well. Onto the Angel's Tears. I would pick up 10 of them, 5 Elastrus Assault ones, and then 5 Rad Grenade ones, or Grenade Launcher ones. Again, there's 3 printing files for these, but you can use rotor cannons too for the Elastrus Assault. And then I would look at getting Sanguinius. Not many people play with Primarchs, so they're not my first choice every time, but highly recommend picking up the Primarchs just because they're cool. They're Primarchs. You have one, and I would always get it with to finish out my army. Look at getting a Spartan, then the Fire Raptor, and again a Falchion, Fellblade, or Glaive, whatever your flavor is. Personally, my Blood Angels are going to have a Falchion, as I showed you, and then a Thunderhawk. Big planes are cool. Just get big planes. And yeah, that's it. That's how I would, if I was to start fresh, this is the order in which I would pick up these units, because this is how I enjoy playing my Blood Angels. So with that, I would like, that is the end of the little thematic list building. And I hope you guys learned something. I hope you had fun. This video is going to be roughly around 40 minutes, maybe a little less. I really hope you're enjoying these thematic list building. My next one is going to be Space Wolves, because I have made a few lists for my buddy who plays Space Wolves, and he has pretty much every unit possible. So that'll be the next group. And then I was actually I traded an Emperor's Children army, basically the start of a Loyalist Emperor's Children. So that will also be on the table here shortly. And then we're going to move to Iron Hands and then Imperial Fists, because those are the next two friends that I have that use those armies. Stay tuned. Hopefully this next one doesn't take me a whole month to do. My goal is that it'll be out in a week or two, now that things have calmed down from the holidays. So hope you guys learned something. Hope you had fun. Let me know if you try any of these lists down in the comments below. Tell me how you would change them if you were to do it, or to make a Blood Angels list. So again, thank you for making it through the video. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. If they're into Heresy and they want to start Blood Angels, have them check this video out. Until the next video, be nice to each other, and Happy New Year, and go make a mess. Bye.